Well, now finally, after a tremendous amount of work, here we are in the newly established Grow Lab. In fact, I'm not even done with the install yet. But we're mostly there, and we got some plant work that needs to be done. And I figure I better do it sooner rather than later. Well, let's get on with it. So the Meyer lemon tree here has been through its ups and downs throughout the years. The first year we had this, it flowered tremendously, fruited tremendously, and was awesome. And then I added some Coast of Maine lobster mix compost, trying to increase calcium and all that sort of stuff to help support better fruiting and flowering. And I actually ended up tipping the balance of this poor plant way out. And it's had its struggles and ups and downs, and I've tried to correct it with foliar feeds and blah blah blah. Anyway, it is starting to come around now. I have some amendments that I feel like are going to be really excellent for it, and it has just came in here maybe a week and a half or so ago. Yeah, I'd say about a week and a half ago. And since it's been under the new Metagrow lights here, it's already starting to flower on me. Which I was hoping to catch this pruning before it started flowering, but I'm going to go ahead and prune anyway and try and trim it up a bit and get it compacted and cleaned up, and then I'm going to do a little bit of soil work on it. So I thought I would videotape it, and I don't know, yeah, maybe somebody will help. So here we go. I got a pair of clippers that I sterilized with 70% alcohol a little while ago. And we're just going to do some cleaning up on this poor overgrown plant. But we definitely want to get rid of any internal branches, because those tend to clog up airflow and they don't usually get very good light. So we'll go through and trim some of this stuff out. There's some dead stuff in here to get rid of. I guess what I'll do here is give you a close up on here from time to time so you can see what I'm doing. So here we are. And I've just clipped out a bunch of the internal stuff here. You can see there's a dead branch here. And what else? Let's see. That kind of goes back on itself. I don't like that too much. We'll clean that up. Get that out of there. This branch kind of goes back into the canopy. Get that out of there. We'll leave some of these lower ones for the most part for now. And then up top here, let's see. We need to do some work up here. We need to take some of the vertical out of this, and I should take some of the vertical out of these too. So I think we'll just trim these verticals back a bit. And yeah, I don't want that branch coming out too far, but at the same time, I don't want to limit this plant too much. And we are got to do some pruning up top here. Let's see. So some dead stuff on that branch, so maybe we'll just delete that back to clean. And then we don't want to get too tall here, so we're going to take some of these vertical suckers out. 1, 2. That's also going to let some more light down into the canopy of the plant. Let's see, this one's pretty tall. Let's go after the base of that. 3. We don't want our branches going too far out and extending too far out, so we'll drop, say, that. This one's a little on the not so healthy side. We got some dead material down here. We'll take it back clean. It's quite a haircut. But let's just do it. Nip it in the bud, so to speak. And we'll get rid of, actually that, well, here, we'll just clip previous fruit off, because I see new sprout growth coming on here, new shoot growth. Let me see if I can get you in on that. I don't know if you can see that very well there, but there's new shoot growth coming on there. And let's see, we'll knock out verticals here too, and verticals over here, because we just don't want to go any taller because of the space we're in, and we'll clip that back a bit, and we'll take out the vertical with the dead stuff on it. And I think maybe the inner branch there. Anything else dead or really sick on it? I don't see anything else too horrible off the top. So I think we'll go with that, except maybe I don't like the dead stuff on this branch, so I think we'll clip that too, even though that's a bud flowering there. Let's see how that does. I feel like that's pretty good. Alright, now I suppose you can see how much space this actually takes and why I chose to do this process first before we moved any of the other soil crates in and made any other movements, transfers, changes. It takes a lot of space because this pot has to come off of here so we can look at the roots, and we got to figure out what to do. Well, I have to say, I kind of like that answer. The mix of the two. There seems to be some good root structure in here, but there also, and there is some worm holes here, you know, there's decent structure, and we got worms. Okay, so we're not going to disturb this too much then. And instead, we're just going to focus on putting a little layer of soil in the bottom of this bin, and probably another slight layer on top of it to top it off. And I think what we'll do is use some soil mix that I've made up already. Yeah. Alright. So we're just going to top the soil up. We'll add some amendments, some KIS organic amendments. Might just top up with some soil that I've already amended from one of the crates here. Yeah, we'll see. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna pull soil from for this. So here's what we're gonna do. This is gonna set me back on some of my soil a little bit, but in good keeping with the new soil system here, I'm actually gonna put this into one of the crates with some of the soil. I'm gonna bump this soil out into the bin, put the tree in with some soil in the bottom, and then fill the rest back in, and then it will be in the integrated system. So we're using all the square footage for soil and living organisms to support plant health. So there we go. I had to shave the edges off a little bit to get it in, but look at the root mass on here. We got some pretty vigorous root growth. That's nice to see. We got worms creepy crawling all over. That's always good. We got other soil predators in there. Interesting to look at the soil that was in the top of the pot versus the bottom of the pot. Look how dark, and look how aggregated, and look at all the earthworms. Yeah, so that was, we did some Big Bloom and some Sea Shield and some inoculants, BioCoat Gold, Spectrum DS, and Pepzyme PZ1000, which is actually just a biological stimulant. But yeah, that made a huge difference in the health of this plant, and now it's going into even better soil. It will be treated with even better love. Super stoked about this. There we go. Fully transplanted and integrated into the new soil system. Let's get that back under a light. Clean up the excess soil, and we're good to go. See where the tarp is handy. Final location to be determined. So here we are, probably about 18 hours later. We'll just take a closer look here at the lemon. I see a pretty good progression of flowers here, so it seems to have taken that transplant fairly well and pruning fairly well. We'll see over the next week or two. I know this soil is probably still pretty hot, so I wouldn't be surprised if we take a little bit of a hit from the soil still not being cooked down enough yet. But, you know, I was anxious to get rolling, so here we are, rolling. Let's see. This holy basil seems to be establishing okay. These guys are, yeah, you know, they were struggling before, so I don't know, whatever. Everything else seems to be doing pretty good. So, just a quick checkup.